Hi everyone, how's it going? I just wanted to say that today it feels amazing to feel amazing. As many of you know, the past probably month and a half to 2 months has been like a daily struggle for me, just super tired, hard time breathing, just difficult. And I would say that when I was first diagnosed about 3 years ago, I would have like maybe 7 bad days out of every month where I just didn't feel good, but the rest of the month I would. And then probably at the end of this past summer, I started noticing that I was having more and more bad days per month than good days. And probably about a month and a half to 2 months ago, it seemed like there were just very few days where I actually felt really good. And up until the last week or so, I was just now to the point where I was taking naps and just super tired all the time. And even though I would keep doing my stuff, exercising and everything, it was just really hard to keep going. And so I had, as I always do, been researching and just looking into different solutions and just trying to pay extra special attention to all my details, around here, about how I'm taking care of myself, what I'm eating, how I'm exercising, just trying different variations on things. And it was all pretty confusing to me because I had just had all my doctor's appointments, with my pulmonologist and my PAH specialist and cardiologist and everything. And everyone's saying that my numbers and everything are all better than they ever were. And actually my exercise tolerability was still really good. It was just like doing daily, regular, everyday tasks were just, I don't know, it seemed just incredibly hard. Like I was having to sit down every couple of minutes just in between the smallest things just to catch my breath and stuff. So it was extremely frustrating to me too. And it was very nerve-wracking for me before vacation because I wasn't sure how I was going to do on the plane and everything. And the vacation went okay. I was still tired, just pushed through it and got back. And before the vacation, I had started trying adding turmeric as an alternative to prednisone. I'm not on any type of steroid at all and haven't ever been. Other than way, like 20 years ago for pneumonia. But since my diagnosis, I have not taken prednisone. And I do not want to turn to it, really, as a last resort. So I was trying to find stuff that was an alternative to that. And so I tried the turmeric for a couple weeks, and as it turns out, not even a supplement, just adding it to my food cooking. I feel like if there's any way of supplementing, the best way of doing it is through food. So I figure out what foods have the vitamins in it that you need, other than like I add iron and vitamin D during the winter. And I have supplemented vitamin B12 previously to when I have a blood panel that shows me that I need that. But other supplements I try to do by way of food or drinks, juices and stuff that might offer what I'm looking for. And so I tried turmeric, adding it to just, what I was cooking on a daily basis. And after about 2 weeks of that, I decided that my stomach was not liking the turmeric, so I cut that out. Also, in my experimentations before vacation, I had taken a hiatus from my inhalers. Sometimes I feel like my body needs a reset, and like I've always said, our bodies get greedy, and they just want more and more and more. They get used to whatever you're giving it, and then they want more. So every now and then I will stop doing something so that it'll give my body a break. I stopped taking that for a while, and then maybe a week before my vacation, so that when we went to take the vacation, if I could benefit from it at all, it would be during that period of time. So then at that time I started back on my inhaler and went from there. And like I said, the vacation went okay, but I was still really run down and tired and ragged and just continuously trying to figure out what was going on. So when we got back home, I spent another week of napping and just pushing myself through each day, trying to figure out what was going on. And since there was nothing that I could really see that I was doing with my food or drinking or, fluid intakes or anything like that, I started paying attention more to my oxygen. I'm always checking my levels so I know when they're good and everything like that, but I just felt like I was needing more and more, and so I'm always checking to make sure I actually do need more and more. And it seemed like it was getting harder and harder to go up the stairs, but it was only at certain times. And so after paying attention to everything, everywhere I am, I realized that a lot of times at my house, because my concentrator is upstairs and I don't like to adjust that one, and most of my activity, what I like when I'm really working or working out, it's downstairs on the lower levels, and I'll be hooked up to a tank at that time so I can turn it up and control it. But what I realized is whenever I run upstairs to our top floor, I'm hooked up to the concentrator just because that's the way it needs to be for me to be able to move around, which meant that I was climbing stairs always with my lowest level of oxygen. I mean, the oxygen that I usually sit and also sleep with. So I'm doing everything else with a higher level, and then I'm climbing stairs with the lower level. And I actually think that that was providing a drag for me on my body. And it had just gotten to the point where I had been doing it for so long that it was catching up to me. And when I figured out a way around this, when we started actively avoiding any situation where I was really being active on a lower level of oxygen, on what I sleep on, or sit and watch TV on, when we started paying attention to that with the stairs and stuff, and finding a solution for that little problem, it seemed to alleviate all the other problems. So after that, I started feeling more rested, and my oxygen levels went up for the rest of the day. And you might remember I said last Wednesday I felt really good, and then that maybe I got over ambitious because we scheduled to go bowling, and we went bowling, and after bowling I felt amazing. I think the bowling pushed my lungs a little bit farther, and I did have extra oxygen for them, turned it up like for exercising. And I think the bowling just stretched my upper body in ways that it probably hadn't been stretched in a really long time. And since I've been paying attention to the oxygen going up and down the stairs and, that kind of thing, to all the little details, I think I alleviated that drag on my body. And actually, I have felt amazing after that. So for this past week, I've had absolutely 0 bad days since Wednesday, since we made that adjustment for climbing the stairs and stuff. Yeah, I think now that I alleviated that drag, and if I think about it, I've had that drag probably on my body since I got home from the hospital, because I've been doing it that way for so long. And I think it was just compounding, and it had gotten to the point where my body was like, I just can't anymore. And so, once I fixed that, it just seemed to really help a lot. So, I guess the lessons learned for me in this one today are to pay attention to all the details, and I really do try to, and I really do think that I am most of the time, but somehow this just got overlooked. And to also know that, when you get stuck in a rut or you're having many bad days in a row or even a bad couple months, to just not give up, to know that keep pushing forward and keep moving. And I'm so glad I kept exercising through all of that, because I would have just got weaker if I didn't. And there were days that I would get up and just, get up from bed, eat breakfast, get dressed, take a shower. I always keep that same routine, because I never want to get in the habit of starting to skip like daily normal stuff, because I think that's just giving in. For me, it's just giving in to this disease, and I don't want to do that. So I always stayed in the habit of, get up, take a shower, make up, get dressed, exercise, eat. But on a lot of those days, right after I got done exercising, I would lay down and take a nap. And I'm so glad that I kept pushing myself to keep exercising and everything, because if I didn't, if I would have just laid down and just loafed around figuring this out, I would have still had a huge fight against me to get back in shape. So now that I figured it out, but I had kept exercising all the way through, it's been amazing. Like, I have been going nonstop since since that Wednesday. So hopefully I have a lot of more days like this, and hopefully it just shows everyone that you just never want to give up, because you just never know. Like, I felt like I was really, progressing super fast, and that things were really going downhill, and it just goes to show me once again that you just never know. Something else just to let you guys know that I always do to kind of keep my mind from running away with me in the opposite direction is I listen to a lot of audiobooks that kind of help with belief and different things with healing and motivation and stuff like that. So during the times like the past couple of months where things have gotten exceptionally hard, I just keep listening to those while exercising and stuff to try to help with my mind and keeping it in the right space and frame. And it doesn't always work, but it definitely does help. If anybody would like some suggestions of audiobooks that I listen to, just, write me a note below the video, and I will make a list of the ones that I find most helpful. I would be happy to share them with you. I listen to them on audiobooks.com, and that way I always have them with me for the airplane, for exercising, for walks, just whatever. Anytime, like if I'm alone in the car, I can listen, and it just helps get my mind back in the right space. But I am going to get ready to head off to the grocery store, and I'm so glad I had some good news to come on and tell you guys. And again, it feels amazing to feel amazing again. And I am so happy to be in this space and out of that space. Let me just see if I can keep it here now and keep moving forward. And I will say that I think I am going to bowl at least once every other week because of the stretching and just the whole way it made me feel afterwards. I think it pushed my lung expansion, so it was, I think, good exercise because it was exercise at little bits at a time. So you got up, you bowled a couple, and then you would sit down, catch your breath, take a break. So it wasn't anything that was super taxing on your body, and yet it pushed you further than, I think that you would usually push yourself, just from the pure throwing the ball kind of thing. So yeah, I think that that is going to become a regular part of my at least maybe a bi-weekly routine for now. And it felt really good, and I'm still feeling the benefits of it days later. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth adding to my schedule. And for anybody out there who can give it a try, I think you would have a lot of fun, and you might be amazed at what it does for your body as well. And like I said, I just took my oxygen in there with me, set up a tank, and turned it up and went to town. So I hope this video helps someone to push past whatever they might be feeling, and just think that you never know if the next day is going to be the better day. So have a good one, you guys, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And I love hearing what you guys think of the videos as well. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.